Deepika,
Hi,
how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on my channel.
Thank you for inviting me, I must say.
No, it's an absolute honor to have you.
Thank you.
And of course, very relevant to my channel because I cover a lot of unconventional people who've done something really different in life. And you,
Yeah, I've heard about your work and I've heard about your interviews, and it's awesome, yeah. I mean, it's interesting to let people know interesting stories. We have always, it's everyone loves stories.
Yes.
And when you bring such different kind of stories from different areas, be sport or whatever, it's interesting, it's inspiring, and it can influence lives out there. So congratulations.
Thank you.
It's a
Thank you
great
for
job.
noticing
Yeah.
that. Yeah, thank you. So, if I'm not wrong, you're India's first female athlete, figure athlete, right? And you've represented India at so many global levels and so many different competitions, and you've won so many awards since 2014. I mean, I don't even remember the number. So, but I want to begin this interview. I want you to explain to lay people like me, laymen like me, like what is the difference between a bodybuilder and a figure athlete?
Okay, so I compete under International Federation of Bodybuilding. Okay, and it's from them that I got my professional status. In every sport, athletes, their ultimate, their dream is to get that pro status. So by the grace of God, I became India's first international figure athlete, and then India's first female IFBB pro athlete. So under IFBB, there are different divisions. I'm only talking about women here, okay? So the first category is bikini category, where it's more about, it's glamorous. So you don't need a lot of muscle on your body, no striations, no vascularity, no nothing, and the posing is also different. Then comes the figure category, where I represent our country, and it's more about body symmetry, athletic looks, and again the posing is different. You need not be really muscular, and not striations and vascularity as such, but then it should be the body symmetry and the aesthetic should be, they're more graceful and then the third category is physique category, where the women are more muscular and the posing is similar to bodybuilding. Then there is fitness, where there are fitness routines. And then there's actually bodybuilding. Now the sad part is all these divisions, they came out of bodybuilding when there was only bodybuilding. But now that category is dying. There are not many women who want to compete in that division, and there's not even more response so that the organizers will have that division in their show. So it's sad that from where we all originated, all these divisions originated, that itself is not there anymore. I mean, it's dying. It's sad, yeah.
Oh, okay. That's quite a lot of new information.
Yeah. So in India, we don't understand that there's amateur. When you start with, you're an amateur, and then there's a pro level. So a lot of people, I see that it's not their fault. It's just lack of knowledge. That you compete in a show or two and then you call yourself professional. That I'm a professional. No, you're not. You have to earn that pro card. Where it's signed by the authorities of your federation that you're a pro athlete. Then you will be known as pro. So I competed in Arnold or Olympia. Okay, but then what was it? Was it amateur or was it Mr. Olympia or Arnold Classic for pros? Because there you qualify only on invitation. So you get invited and only then you can compete. For amateur Arnold Classic or amateur Olympia, anybody can go and compete. So that's the difference. But slowly it's coming in, and because this sport is now really it's growing, and a lot of new federations are coming in, so the knowledge will seep in slowly.
Awesome. Lovely. So, but then I can't help but ask you a very, very, probably the most asked question to you, which I also need to ask you. Like, how did you get into all this? Like, I know you've had a very different life earlier, and then you switched to this. So, what was your transformation story?
Okay, so I was into sport right from my childhood, but I was a runner, and I used to play team games like throw ball, kabaddi, kho-kho. But then I was like really thin. I also had a troubled childhood. My parents didn't go along with each other very well, and they got separated also. And there was a lot of, they were into abusive relationship. So there are a lot of people out there who realize that in such families, the kids, they do suffer some kind of maybe inferiority complex or ignorance or. So I went through the same thing. Like maybe I was deprived of that appreciation or that care and love and attention. And I was also, I had self-image issues. So everything was just building up. And I was really one angry kid. I was super active, but then I was also angry. Like I'll get into fights like this. I was this thin, but I can stand in front of, some senior guy and I'll be like, you know what, I'll just
take him head on.
So I think that was anger and nothing else. And I was never scared of pain. So even if I fall down or I just never cared. I was that kind of kid.
Right.
But slowly when I was growing up, that inferiority complex was just way too much. And I could feel it. I never liked socializing, crowded places.
Right.
Like now I'm talking to you like this, but before, like when I was small, just not possible. I'll just hide somewhere.
So you were an introvert.
Yeah, I was. And what happened is, this gymming thing, I started doing it for a week, Talwalkars.
Okay.
Just hoping that I'll put on some, some weight. But I really didn't like it. I went there for 1 week and I left it. Then after a few years, I again went to Snapfit gym. And I was there for 1 month.
Okay.
And when the trainer is telling me to do squats, I don't want to do it. I'm feeling awkward. He's telling me to push my butt back and chest up, and I'm like, something is wrong with this dude, man. I mean, what? And I felt awkward. I felt stupid because he was just asking me to do few things and I'm just doing it, but I don't know what I'm doing. So I was about to just not come back ever again. When the manager of the gym, I still remember his name, Vishal Jagtap. And I told him that I'm not going to come, and he asked me, and I said, I feel like a donkey. I don't know what I'm doing here. So he convinced me to, learn about it myself. And so I started K11 Fitness Academy for personal training and then also sports nutrition and all. That spurred that interest in me. I mean, I've not attended all the classes in my college or school, but this one, this one, every day. I mean, even if it's raining, no matter what, I'll be there in that class.
Right.
And my teacher, his name is Mr. Mayur Sabnis, amazing teacher. And the owner or the CEO of that company, Mr. Kaizad Kapadia. Wow, I mean, the way they gave that knowledge, the practicals, and it was amazing. Like I was in a different world. I just forgot everything when I was in that class.
Right.
And that's how the interest was generated. And I started lifting. When I started lifting, it was like, wow, how I was already 28. When I first stepped inside the gym with that mindfulness. And then, okay, this is bar and this is dumbbell and this machine is called this.
Right.
I was already 28. And then when I started lifting and lifting heavy, I could feel that, all that energy, that negativity, everything, aggression, I found
Yeah.
that one thing where I could just drain it out, you know.
Correct.
It was like an outlet for all the emotions combined. So if I'm happy, and my training would be like happy, I'll be dancing on the floor when the music is good. When I'm angry, poor weights will just bear that thing and I'll break my personal records on that day.
Yes.
So it was like, I just don't want callus on my hands, but also in my head. I was loving that pain,
Right.
you know. And so that bonding had already happened. And then once I was at Shiru Classic in 2012 or 13, I don't remember, in Delhi. And that was the first time when I saw Shannon Day. Shannon Day is the CEO of Bombshell Fitness company, which is Florida based. And when she stepped inside the seminar hall, I was like, wow, she had this broad shoulders and narrow waist, and she looked like a muscular Barbie.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, how can a woman look like this?
Yeah.
And when she started talking, I was crying because she was talking about self-image issues and all that thing, and I could just relate to it. And in the evening, for the first time, I saw the professional athletes on stage. So I saw bikini athletes and I saw figure athletes, but bikini athletes, I mean, they're beautiful, but then when the figure athletes came in, I was like, wow, this is graceful, this is beautiful. And that was the moment when I said, I want to do this.
Amazing.
I was nowhere close to how I'm supposed to look on that stage, but I was so confident that yes, I can do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is how it happened. And then the funny part is when I discussed this with people whom I really respected in this industry and I looked up to them. So what I was told is that you don't have the genetics to get into this. Yeah. So you can just train for fun, to stay fit, but then don't get into this because you don't have genetics. And I still remember I was crying on my way back to Pune, and I felt so sad because for the first time I knew what to do. Till now it was always someone else telling me, and then I'm just doing it and trying it all.
Yeah.
This was like, you know what, like when you find your goal, which is not influenced by anyone else but you, it's like that is your second life.
Right.
You're born again.
Yes.
You know, and then I was like, everything crashed. Why I can't do this? But then there are so many things that I remembered when I was going through this negativity, like Richard Dawkins, I think, he wrote to his daughter in a letter where he said that you can listen to the opinions or ideas of others, but you don't have to believe in it unless and until there's no evidence to it. So there was no evidence that any female from India had tried for this category. No one can judge my potential or my genetics. How can one judge that? There's no evidence that I'm not made for this category. So I said, see, rather than just crying about it, why not to just give it your 100% and give it one shot? So it all started with, I want to see my abs first, to now I want to be on that stage, wear that bikini, wear my heels, and say that I'm India's first international figure athlete. So it started from there. Like, I was not thinking that I'll become a pro someday.
Right.
But it started with this one single step. And that's how it happened.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think all great journeys start without the knowledge of the destination.
Right.
You just have to take the steps and you eventually discover.
Yeah, and it's true. I mean, just take one day at one time and things will, you just have to make sure that you're taking that step towards something.
Yeah.
Now you can't just go here and there and think that by hook or crook no, just fix that one point and take every step towards it.
Right.
Yeah.
So, while you were going through this journey and you were transforming yourself, and so this was one side of your life that you were living, but what was the response you were getting from your family or your friends or people at your work? I mean, of course, they would have suddenly noticed the change, even if you didn't share your plans with them. But then, what were the human reactions around you?
So yeah, this is again, My mother, she was like, I showed her this is what she was like, I don't know what I was reading or watching when you were like
when you were in a
I was
womb.
carrying you. Yeah, but then what wrong did I do that you have become like this? Like I was always, I told you that I'll always play with boys and so she's like, till there it was all right, but now you want to put on muscle and look like a guy? No. I'm just going to tell the world that you're not my daughter. It's like, oh my God. So, other than this, there were mixed reactions from people.
Mm-hmm.
Like some would see it as gross, some would appreciate it. And for initial few years, it really mattered to me because I told you I was looking for that acceptance,
Right.
you know, for that approval, for attention. So it mattered to me. But it's only because of this sport that I've become what I have become from inside. And I've achieved that stage in my life right now where I don't need anyone's approval or attention or anything to feel in a certain way about me. But at that time it mattered. So the reactions were mixed. And at that time it really did affect me. Like I would doubt that I don't know how I'm looking or whatever, and I'll get aggressive. And when people will appreciate, then I'll feel so happy, which is all wrong. So, which I realize now, but at that time it did matter. And the reactions will always be mixed. No matter where you are. It's not just about India, it's global.
Right.
I mean, if a woman is putting on some muscle mass and then showing it off, she's going to get mixed reactions for sure. It's just that you know what you're doing, and if that makes you happy, just do it. Yeah.
Lovely. So I know you are a virologist, you have a full-time job, and plus this, your figure athlete life, and then you also have a personal life. So with so many things going on, how do you really balance it?
So I would say that who all are listening to your interview right now, and out of them, those who all have felt the moment when they realize that this is their goal and this is their passion and it's theirs, not influenced by the world around or whatever. It's the dream originated in their heart, in their mind, because it's something that they want, you know. So when you find something like that, then all your energy is towards that one single goal. If you want to achieve greatness, one has to drop the idea of balance.
Okay.
You have 10 different things, but if you think that you can balance everything and still achieve that greatness, when you achieve your goal, won't happen. I don't know one single example where this has happened. So things will go off balance and you have to be mentally ready for it. Be ready for that sacrifice.
Yeah.
You might be successful, but you won't be great.
Right.
You know, you can have success, but you might not feel accomplished because you were dissipating your energies and you were distributing your energies in 10 different things and not on that one single goal.
Right.
So it's not your 100% potential. So if you want that, you really have to stay focused there, and when you do that, naturally things will fall apart. Few things will be taken away from you. Few things will add in or whatever, but that perfect balance, if you have that concept in your mind, you might be successful. But I doubt if you can achieve greatness with that.
So going by that, it means you've also had to compromise a little on the other spheres of your life, probably the professional or the personal.
See, again, the definition of compromise is different. Now here, when you know you have the conscious decision that you're going to focus everything in there, okay? So the other things, you are doing whatever energy that you're left with, to do those duties.
Right.
And you may fail in doing those. So it's not compromise because you know that you're supposed to do it and you're doing it in that particular moment when you're supposed to do that duty. But because you have already focused somewhere, there might be cases, or it might happen that you're not doing your best out there. And then if that person or if that situation is expecting a lot from you and you're not able to fulfill those expectations, maybe that thing will be not there in your life anymore.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't fulfill those expectations.
Right.
So if those things are taken away from you, you just be ready for that sacrifice.
Right. So that means that along with a lot of physical strength, you also have a lot of mental strength.
You have to have mental strength.
And I am talking about you specifically.
You have to have that.
So to sum this question up, I would say that, for me, somewhere you are the right combination of beauty and brains and then strength.
That sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah. So
see, I would say there are a lot of people who won't agree to this, saying that you can have balance. And it's a differences in opinion, it's all right. But I would say that what one can do is prioritize. So you really have to be clear in your mind that these are your duties, these are your responsibilities, but then this is my priority.
Right.
And how you can fit in the rest of the things below it. This can happen. You can be organized.
Right.
But whether it will give you that perfect balance, I don't think so. Like, I personally don't think so.
Right. So the other day I was reading one of your interviews, and I read in it that all the praises you had to say about Sangram Chowgule and how deeply moved you were, after hearing his story.
Yes.
And so, just on a side note, do you have friends in your professional, do you have professional friends in this industry? Or how is it? How are the dynamics in this industry? Because obviously, may not be for a male and a female, but otherwise, there's pretty much competition, people who are into bodybuilding amongst themselves.
Yeah.
So, how is it with you?
So for me, again, so you call someone a friend, so it's different for different people, right? For me, when I meet an athlete, when I'm in that space, so I know that this person is coming from a story where this person found a goal and this person struggled,
Right.
and is still struggling to be somewhere, and there will be emotional differences. So I am with that person considering all this. So there is no attachment. So I can't call it a friendship.
Right.
But I am either getting inspired,
Right.
or learning. And if I could be helpful in some way, then I'm doing that. So it's kind of association happening. But I can't say that, I'm not sure if that should be, it's love and appreciation and admiring each other and learning. That is all is happening. So there is no attachment or bonding, is what I want to say. So there's so many whom I get inspired by. So there are professional colleagues who are I look up to them.
Right.
For sure. Yeah.
Interesting.